one of these days we're going to get a hole-in-one on camera, Piers.
It's not going to be that one.
It's not that day. Okay, welcome to Me and My Golf. We're your coaches, Andy and Piers. It's time for this week's Impact Show. Piers, what are we doing today?
We're talking about the 3 traits of great iron players. Let's take charge of your game.
So thank you for joining us here at the beautiful 18th hole at the Asprey, and we are kicking this month off with 3 traits of great iron players. Now this month of June is all about irons, so please post your comments and questions about your irons and about your game, and we'll see if we can help. Now Piers, when it comes to irons, there's a few things we want to do. We want to strike it solid.
We do.
We want to control the distance, and we want to be consistent really in the trajectory, Piers, don't we? So if we can do that, hopefully we'll shoot some good scores.
Just go and do that and you'll be fine.
There we go. So what we're going to do is show you what the best ball strikers and iron players in the world do. And there's 3 traits that we're going to talk about. What's the first one, Piers?
Okay, so the first one is that the best players in the world, when they're striking the golf ball, get 80% of pressure into that lead foot. If they can get that 80% of pressure into the lead foot, they'll have the shaft length forward, they'll deal off the club slightly, they'll get a pure strike, and they'll be able to control the accuracy as well.
So ideally it's going to help us get that ball followed by the turf, which we know the majority of you guys would like to do more consistently. And us too as well, definitely. So Piers, what do we see the majority of golfers do, and how can we maybe then improve it with the drill?
Okay, so look, I mean, when people just don't get there, so they don't get that 80%. So we'll often see that when the ball is being struck, that they will maybe return back to a similar position to to setup. So we can see the shaft isn't leant forward at all, and we can see we're not really moving that pressure towards the target. The strikes will be too inconsistent as a result.
So we're really looking at what the pelvis is doing.
Yeah.
It isn't really moving over to the lead side.
Not moving over. And look, and the one main thought that we want to talk about for the reason for this happening is the fact that the pelvis often moves too much away from the target in the backswing, so it doesn't rotate well enough and actually moves laterally away from the target. The sway that we call it. Now, as you can see from there, you've just got to be very aggressive to have any chance of getting that 80% pressure.
Making it harder, aren't they?
Making it harder.
Okay, so what's the drill?
So the drill, okay, so we're actually going to use this to help us out, but we, as I set this up here, just get myself squared up. So we actually spoke to George Gankas about this when we did some filming with him the end of last year. And this is a trait that he likes to get his players to do. He teaches a lot of good players. In that, in the backswing, he actually likes the feeling of the pelvis coming away from this stick that I've got resting on my thigh. So by having that pelvis moving away, if we think about it on the downswing now, all we have to do is we have to rotate the pelvis back toward the target and move toward the target. That's definitely going to get that 80% of pressure into that lead side.
So we're not really loading that much pressure into that right leg. We're sort of keeping the hips a bit more centered, and then it's easy to get there.
Hips are more centered, but the fact obviously you've got your arms and your shoulders move this way, pressure's obviously still moving over here. We're not leaning everything on here, so it is slightly different, that is, but this is really good because as soon as I sway, I know straight away I've got feedback that I'm doing this.
Okay, so let's see hit a shot.
We were
talking off camera. Piers said he fancied a hole-in-one today, so let's
even
see
with
if
that
we can
flag
get close.
where it is.
It's a tricky one today, isn't it?
So I'm going to make sure when I swing back, I turn away from the stick, create a gap between the stick and my leg, and hopefully it'll be a great strike. Keep watching, ladies and gentlemen.
I think it's too strong.
Oh,
it's a good shot, a bit too strong.
Oh, it's a bit big as well. Right on it.
So trait number 2 then, Piers,
Yes.
is short swing.
Short swing.
Short backswing.
Short backswing. Here we go. So look, if we think about Jon Rahm at the moment, he's obviously one of the best players in the world, tee to green, but his irons are fantastic, and there's a lot we can learn from this because of his strong club face and his short backswing. As we can see, it makes his body move efficiently towards the target. Now, the biggest problem we see with golfers when they're struggling with their irons and they lose control of their club face is because they get to a point here, for whatever reason, they go, oh, my swing feels like it needs to be longer, then suddenly they do this sort of move here. So we start opening the club face, losing the connection between our arms and our body, and all of that, when you pile it together, just makes the downswing very difficult to achieve good loft when you're striking the golf ball, and you're not going to get that 80% of pressure. So by being shorter, and as you say, we run with the shut face, it's very easy from there then to move towards the target, put the pressure in there, and have a good loft on the club.
So it's the synchronization in the backswing of the hands, the arms, the club and the body. Keeping it short helps. I mean, even Tiger Woods, look at Tiger Woods, his iron swing is a little shorter than his driver swing, but do you know what? He's trying to hit the driver as far as he can,
Yes.
where with his irons he's trying to control a distance and gain that control and accuracy. So it's totally different.
It is. It's the first thing he did. It's the first swing change he actually made when he got on tour, was shorten his short iron swing for sure.
Okay, so do we have a drill for this?
We have a drill. Of course we have a drill. We call this short swing lag. It's actually a drill that you did about 5 years ago over on, I think it was the 17th there. So it's had a few views since then. But what we like about short swing lag is that when we have a short backswing to here and have the intention of hitting the golf ball hard, I'm not going to swing to here and then do that with my arms and go through. I'm going to engage my body. So if I have a short swing and I've got to then hit power, I'm going to engage my body and I'm going to turn my body and fire it through to the target. So I'm going to create all the dynamic movements out of my body that I want because the swing is short.
Yeah.
And it never is that short though actually when we do this, and maybe get a slow-mo on this one when I actually hit this one. So I'm just going to feel as though I get my hands just past my leg here. Make sure I get a little bit of wrist cock, it's always good to do that. But then from there I'm going to really sort of put a bit of force into the shot and try and get it on the green because it's a long way away now from
I'm
here.
sure you can capable of that, Piers.
Okay, so short swing lag. And yeah, we'll get a replay on this so you'll see that the club goes a little bit further than I intend it to. Will it make it over?
Oh, it's easily over there, that is,
Oh,
on the green. There we go.
Big. Wow, it works.
So trait number 3, Piers, is strategy. We're talking par 3s and approach shots. Now, the best players in the world and their caddies obviously help them out with that. We haven't got caddies, unfortunately, but they have a good strategy on par 3s and approach shots. Yet the guys who are watching this maybe not have the perfect plan. And I think the mistakes that we see probably more often than not, Piers, is they attack the flags, they underclub,
Yes.
and they don't really assess the danger. So
Yeah.
if you put all that into the mix, they're making it harder from the start. And if we can have a good strategy, it means that it doesn't mean we're going to execute the shot perfectly every time, but we are increasing our chances of getting on the green and lowering the scores, aren't we?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because you know, even more so on the par 3s, because the par 3s are the hardest holes that you play because they're the ones that are protected the most. So par 4, you may not have a bunker in front of the green, but par 3s will generally either have bunker or water in front, which is going to make it harder for you. And I think, you know, it's so easy to get sucked into, I mean, maybe the water's a focus point as well, but this flag here on the right, you shouldn't really be going for this flag. We're messing around on the video, but if we're playing in a competition here, we're thinking, look, just hit it in the middle of the green. So I think the main two things that you can look at when you are playing golf and you're hitting your approach shots is go for the middle of the green or stay away from the hazards. So in this case here, you may want to be slightly left side of middle, that's absolutely fine. But then really contemplate hitting more club. Actually going with, well, I've got a 9 iron here, maybe if I hit an 8 iron and I work at hitting it, you know, striking it solid and getting the weight onto my left side, that is going to be a much better job than you would normally do trying to go, well, I hit a 9 iron once, 150 yards, I can do it this time because I did that once.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't work like that. Go with what you're consistently going to do on a yardage basis.
Yeah, definitely go with more club. And it's going to be a strange thing if you, maybe next time you're on the golf course, assess this, get to the par 3 and notice where you look. Most people are obviously going to be drawn to the flag, but you need to change your habit and go, okay, well, there's the flag. Where do I want to be? I'm now looking and changing my focus onto a different point of the green. So as you mentioned, Piers, maybe left side of the green here. I'm not even looking at the flag. And the great thing about that is if I hit a good shot, I'm in play. If I push it, I'm moving towards the flag.
Great.
But you're not getting tempted and drawn into that flag. And I think that is really important, maybe you know, something to test you guys on when you're out there. Where are you looking? Where's your focus?
And ultimately on a hole like this one here, you know, you want to be left side. If you miss the green, you want to be left side because left means a little bit further, which is great. You miss the water, but also it means you've got an easier chip shot back towards the flag. And it's interesting, Nick Sherdock talks about the experiment he did taking all the flags out. So he took all the flags out and got some junior golfers to go through. 2 out of the 3 golfers shot their best score ever because they went for the middle of the green. So, speaking of which, have I got to go for the middle? What am I holding one?
Well, do you know what? You maybe
No,
go
I've
for the
got to
middle
go
in a
for the
bad shot.
middle.
You might hit a bad
Yeah,
shot.
that's a good
and get
point.
hole
Yeah,
in one.
I'm going to go for the middle of the green with a little bit of push. All right, middle of the green. That's where I'm aiming. Oh, I didn't push it, Andy. I've hit it dead straight.
You've hit the perfect
But I'll
shot.
probably hit that ball in the hole from there.
There we go. Very nice. But you're safe there and you've got a birdie chance, Piers. Okay, guys, hope that helps. Make sure you post any comments and questions down below. Now, also, do you get the most out of your practice sessions? If you don't, then our Me and My Golf Weekly is perfect for you. Just gone live, the ultimate practice station where we show you guys how to set up and structure your practice to get the most out of it.
So guys, if you want to see that and go and watch all of the great videos at meandmygolf.com, click on the link in the corner, take advantage of the 30-day free trial, and we'll see you there.